Hello. Blessings, blessings to all the ladies who are jumping on. I'm seeing the numbers coming up as we're live here. Hello. Hi, Callie.
Hi, Liz. Hello, sisters. Hey, friends. Emerge sisters. So delighted to be on here with you tonight, Liz.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be able to say that this is the first of two English sessions that we're going to be having regarding the illogical order when God does things that just doesn't make sense and when his timing doesn't make any sense. I want to thank you, Callie, for saying yes to this invitation. You are such a busy person, and the fact that you said, I'm in. I am in makes me so happy and so excited. So we are live on the Emerge page, and we're also live on my YouTube channel. So there's some people that are watching on YouTube and some on the Facebook page. So I see lots of girls saying things, but it just says Facebook user, so I can't see their names. So I'm gonna pull it up here on my device here really quickly and see who it is. Oh, it's Jessica. Jessica, I see Anne Marie from North Carolina. Hi, Anne. I see Cynthia Sanchez. She's watching. The girls who are bilingual get an extra dose because they got it in Spanish and now they get to see this and what the Lord has for our English speaking ladies.
Good. Well, I was just going to say, I did take 2 years of high school Spanish.
Ooh.
So, solo un poquito, a little bit, just a little bit. And I was in Spain this past September. And it's amazing how much you remember. And I did my very best everywhere I went. I gave it a shot. But I think English is better for me tonight, just to be safe.
Okay, okay, claro, claro. So for those of you who do not know, that are probably new to the Emerge community, Callie and I go back probably almost going on 10 years because I've been in Mary Kay like it's going to be 9 years this year. So I'm
Wow.
going to say that we're just about there. And if you follow Yo habla español and a little bit, right? A little bit. Your husband speaks more than you do. I think that's what it is. Callie and I, we go back, and if you follow me, you'll know that I post lots of pictures of her and I because we're in the same business together in the beauty business, and you'll see tons of
Ah,
pictures of us. But to quickly just explain a little bit about the dynamic of my relationship with Callie, it's not just the glitz and the glamour and the beauty. Callie and I, we have been through ups and downs together. When I was going through my divorce and alone, Melody and I spent a few days Christmas it was in Pensacola Beach, or was it Hollywood?
no, it's Hollywood Beach. Yeah. Fort Lauderdale Beach. Yeah. Area.
Yeah, we spent some time with you and your mom, your beautiful mother.
Boy, do I remember that day, Liz. I remember.
Yeah, yeah. We went on a cruise together,
Yeah.
the Bahamas with
Yeah.
Melody also, and we really do life together. And I can say, again, for those who do not know, Callie and I, although we're not sisters by blood, I can say that for so many years, every morning I can expect a message from Callie. Trust me when I say I have a message from Callie almost every morning, and I enjoy it. She's out on her walks and she's talking to me. She's talking to me, and we're catching up, whether it's about business stuff, whether about the things, a devotional that we read that just blew us away, or a podcast that we heard. And I love that I get to do life with you, not just in, like I said, professionally, but in as two daughters of the Most High God.
Mm,
And you
yeah.
inspire me. I love your relationship with your relationship with your son, and seeing him how big now he is towering over you, Callie. And he was just a little one when I first met him.
He was. He was just my little man, and now he's my big man.
He's your big man. Your relationship with him reminds me of my relationship with my soldier. Like there's this close bond.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. And I love it. I can't wait to just be able to see what else they're doing. And now he's got his permit.
I know, and it's so crazy. Okay, so we're talking about illogical order of God and God's sovereignty and God's weaving. And I, prior to this, Liz, I had said, do we need to prepare anything? Or and she's like, no. And I said, great, Holy Spirit, activate. It's crazy. You did not tell me that you were gonna share pictures of my son, Braden. But one of the things I want to speak to and speak on tonight actually has to do with this guy.
Really?
That's where I was like, "Are you kidding me right now?" God is already moving and in the natural and the supernatural tonight.
That is so awesome. That's why we barely spoke today. Today we
Yeah,
did not speak much. So I did put her, but I love your son. I love the dynamic that you have with him. And then there's Maddie. And then there's Maddie.
Maddie girl.
That I think you guys are in New York
We
here.
were.
The
We were
trip.
at Alice's Teacup near Central Park, and it was her 13th birthday weekend getaway.
I love that. God bless your children, your boy and your girl. And we don't want to leave Josh behind, but that is Josh
Poor
who does.
Josh, he gets it.
Callie, share with us whatever the Lord has just poured over your heart for us in this time, in this season, for this particular moment.
So, again, when we were just kinda chatting about this event and this connection with women and like-minded women, I said to Liz, again, "Do you want me to prepare anything?" And she said, "No." And what we said right before we went live here, this is conversation, it's not a presentation.
Right.
Right? So I thought, okay. And she said, but if you have a story, if there's any kind of story that you want to share where God's timing was just unexpected, or he worked in a way that you would not have done. So I thought, okay, well, I'm sure there's hundreds of them in retrospect, right? It's
Right.
hard to see it when we're in the middle of it or when we're praying for something that has not come to pass or we're waiting. But I was like, I'm sure there were, but nothing really came to mind, Liz. I was like, I don't know, nothing came to mind. And I kid you not, it was sometime in the really, really early morning hours. And I get up early. So it was like earlier than that. I'm not even kidding you. I felt like God just sort of woke me up just for
Mhm.
a minute
Oh my
and
gosh.
whispered this in my ear. And then I went right back to sleep. And I said to Liz the other day, I've got a story. Okay. So here's the story. It was February 7th, 2014.
It's
And
a
I know
perfect place to start. The
I
date.
looked it up. I looked it up right before we got on here. Okay. February 7th, 2014. Braden Brigham, that you see that's about 6 feet tall and is 15 years old now, was 5. He was 5 years old. And he was finishing his last year in preschool. And just stick with me with this story when I tell you that the Lego movie came out that day, okay? That's how I could look it up. It was the Lego movie. And he loved Legos, and who doesn't love going to the movies? So I had a plan that on Saturday that we were going to go to the movies and we were going to see the Lego movie. And we were going to go with a group of his little friends from preschool. Okay? So that was the plan, a Saturday matinee. The moms and the sons go to the Lego movie. Well, when your kids are that little or your grandkids are that little, Liz, or your nieces or nephews, you learn that you don't tell them too far in advance
Right.
because their concept of time is like now or never, right?
Correct.
So you don't say 2 weeks before, guess what we're going to do in 2 weeks. You don't even say the week before, you don't. So it's the day before, it's Friday, and I think, okay, I'm safe to tell him now. Braden, guess what we're going to do tomorrow? We're going to go see the Lego movie. And I'm like expecting him to say, yay, we're going tomorrow. And do you know what he says? Well, I want to go right now. I said, oh, no, Braden, we're not going right now. We're going tomorrow. He says, but, but I want to go right now. I said, but buddy, no, the movie's not even playing right now. So we're not going now. We're going tomorrow. He starts to get, but I want to go right now. I said, but Braden, we're going with your friends. And even if we went right now, your friends aren't there. They're going tomorrow. We're all going tomorrow. It's going to be fun tomorrow. We're going to, right? You get where I'm going with this.
Wow.
And he's getting more and more upset. And he says, "But I want to go now," right? And I'm getting more and more worked up, frankly. And here's the thing, he didn't even know there was more. After the movie, we were gonna go get pizza. Then we were gonna go to one of the little boys' houses, and they were all gonna play. Like, it was gonna be so much more than
Yes.
just the Lego movie. So now we're at, have you ever had an interesting conversation with a 5-year-old? Okay. He's now saying, he's in tears. I wanna go now. He's not throwing, he's actually a pretty laid back kid. So he's not throwing himself on the ground, but I'm now thinking, what am I thinking? Well, I don't even want to take you to the movies now, right? Because at first I'm trying to explain to him it's not time.
Right.
It's not time yet. The time is tomorrow. The people are tomorrow. The event is tomorrow. I was just preparing you with what's to come and what to look forward to.
Whew.
Well, right. So as I'm about to lose it on this kid, all of a sudden I check myself and I thought, that's me.
Mhm.
That's me. And that's the Lord. Lord, you told me this is coming. Like, I know it in my spirit. You told me this is coming. I want it now. And God says, it's coming, but not now. No, but I want it. God said, the people aren't there yet. The people aren't in place yet. It's not time. I have prepared it for then. And I say now. Now, I'm
Wow.
not saying that God is like me and is saying, well, you know what? Forget it. Because I can't speak to the mind of God. But I do know that as a parent and as a father, that may cause an earthly parent to say, you know what? Never mind.
Mhm.
So I remember that from 10 years ago, friends, a conversation with a 5-year-old about the Lego movie. Now, fortunately, we were able to resolve that. We went to the Lego movie and everything was fine. Everything is awesome. Okay. Everything ended up being awesome. But Liz, that was just the story that was on my heart that I wanted to share, that I go back to. And I sadly have to remind myself, relearn. So I don't know if there's anyone on here that feels like you have gotten a word from the Lord, and maybe it's been the last 2 weeks of what Liz has shared. Maybe it was last year at this event. Maybe it was Sunday at church. Maybe it was in your quiet time. Maybe there was a revelation. Maybe there was a friend that spoke or prophesied over you, and it still has not come yet.
Whew.
The illogical to us, or the frustration or the impatience, is totally logical to the Lord because he knows what's to come. So I just wanted to kick us off.
With
Yeah,
that. And the thing is that as I'm listening to the story with him because he's a child, and let's start there. They have no sense of time.
no,
You even if it's tomorrow, they don't know what tomorrow is. They don't know what we're going in 2 weeks is. There's no concept of time. And that's the way we are when it comes to our divine purpose.
yeah,
And we get agitated because that conversation elevated. That conversation elevated. I'm in a season of waiting and I lost
mhm,
my job. Yes.
yeah,
So now you have to wait on the Lord,
yeah,
waiting on his timing and not be as this child before the
the
Lord and get
child,
agitated
yeah,
and
yeah.
frustrated.
And understanding that positioning, you're exactly right. He was the child, and children do not have the amount of wisdom, right? They don't have that experience. They don't have that. And in God's eyes, we are still his children, right? We're human becomings, right? We're not human beings, we're human becomings. And if we believe also in the sovereignty of God, which I believe communally here and individually, we believe in the sovereignty of God, when we surrender these things to him, such as my future job, right? Who's on here
Mhm.
that shared that, where I'm going to be able to provide for my family. When we surrender that and we choose to not be the one that has to be in charge of it. I love this thought. Guess what? That puts God on the hook for it, not me.
Mm. Say that again.
When we are fully surrendered to trusting God's plan, when we open our hands to it, whether it is our vocation, whether it's a relationship, whether it's to, and we say, God, I trust you, He's on the hook for it and not me.
And not us. That's right.
Mhm.
That's right. And I was saying that in Spanish last week. Something about when you surrender.
Yeah.
I was saying when we learn to surrender that fact that I'm not going to know and it's okay that I don't know. We get to
Exactly.
enjoy more the journey. The other thing that I like that you said is he had no idea that it was more than just the movie. It was pizza, it was with your friends, and does that with us where
Yeah.
there's more.
Yeah. And too, Liz, getting deep. So I started with the Lego movie, which is a bit surfacey, right? But obviously the message was deeper. But on a deeper note, a more personal note, I had two miscarriages before Braden.
Mm,
I knew in my heart. I mean, I read Hannah's prayer. I knew in my heart. I didn't know how or why or when, but I knew in my heart that God had called me to be a mother. Yet here I am going in the complete opposite direction. It was the darkest time of my life. But when we're talking about timing and all that, if I had not, I'm going to tell you two things. One is if I had not had those miscarriages, the timing of it, I wouldn't have Braden.
yeah.
Like biologically, whatever had to happen in that situation to create him, his unique fingerprint, his unique DNA, that was in God's timing. Now, again, it's easier to look back and see that. However, we can all look back and we have altar moments, right? That
Mhm.
we can look back and see his goodness. If he was good then and that's his nature, he's good now. We just don't understand what that might unfold. And because he allowed my journey to look like that, it wasn't long after Braden was born and then Maddie was born that I finally became brave enough to share a little bit of my
Journey.
heartbreak and my
Mhm.
story and my
Mhm.
the sadness and all that with other women. And what happened from that, Liz, was eventually a support group that started when the kids were little, because I realized that so many women were also going through what I had been through and still do. And to this day, the support group is all around the country. It's virtual. And we've seen over 100 babies born or adopted in
Wow.
the last decade that we've had this. What felt like it was being taken away from me. And I can say this because I've had years, of healing from it. But what felt like God was taking away and removing from me 2 times, He gave back 100-fold.
Yeah. Wow.
And I can clearly say to this day that if I could change it, go back and
Mhm.
change it, I would not. And I think that comes again from looking back and seeing that he's good in the hard times, he's good in the good times, he's good when I don't understand. He's
Yes.
good. Now, is that easy to say or feel? It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. And if you don't have any words left, the Bible says that he inhabits the praise of his people.
Yes, he
Means
does.
he's there, the promise.
Mm.
And in praise, even praise with tears, even praise on your knees, flat on your back, he promises he will be there. He will not forsake you. You will
So
not go
good.
through this alone.
So good. I absolutely love this story. And many times we see God's timing and what he's doing as an interruption to our agenda or to our dreams and to what it is that what we want to
Yes.
see happen. But little do we know that there's something so much greater and so much more powerful and effective, that it's not just for you, it's a domino effect for everyone who comes in contact with you in your circle. It's a blessing for everybody, not just for you.
One of my favorite verses is Proverbs 16:9, and paraphrasing, man makes his plans, and I am a planner. I have a podcast on time and schedules, and right? So I love that. Liz, you love a planner too. You love a good planner with stickers, and you like a digital one, you like, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's probably why we get along so much, because we're a lot alike. I mean, we have the same Enneagram, and we
Yeah,
do a
we
lot
do.
of things like, and this is something that you do. Yes, you are a planner. So how does this fit in your life when God is like moving the chess pieces?
Right. Yeah. So that's the first part of the verse. Man makes his plans, but it doesn't end there. And it says, and then God directs his steps.
Yes.
So it's not about not making our plans. You know, it clearly says you make your plans and then you allow him to direct your steps. And one of the ways that I personally do that is every morning, and I have to, I don't know about you, but I have to say it out loud because I need it. Well, you know what? I need the devil to hear it too, probably, right? Because he can't, you guys know he can't, he's not in here.
That's right.
He cannot hear your thoughts. He cannot. He's not that powerful, but he can
Nope.
hear your words.
Right. Right.
So I'm gonna say it. So I have to say it, and then physically I have to do it too because I'm a tough case. I'm still a child, Liz. So I still have to do it. So I go through my day and I literally go thing by thing that's on my plan and I surrender it out loud. I'll say,
Ooh.
God, I surrender the walk that I go on, Liz, where I talk to you. I surrender the walk. I surrender this. I surrender that conversation. I surrender this Zoom. I surrendered this tonight. And I hold it loosely, which means that if I think my plan is to go to the right and God diverts me to the left because a conversation goes longer or a lunch appointment goes shorter or something gets,
Something gets canceled.
yeah, instead of feeling frustrated, instead of trying to rein back control, I've already given over the control
First thing in the morning. And
first thing.
that's so good. You give it to him loosely, like,
Yeah,
this is what I have planned for today. I have a
yeah.
meeting, I have a lunch, I have a this, I have a that. And if something happens, it happens. I already gave it to, and then when something does go awry, you're able to say, oh, wait, but I already gave that to God.
Yeah.
So this God must be in it. Stacy says, so needed this tonight after a house conversation. Yeah, yeah, because there's
Those are
just
the
so
big
much
ones, right? So we've had big ones here tonight. Houses,
job.
jobs. I'm
Mhm,
sure there's
mhm.
others feelings of
Yes, this is good.
loss or other feelings of powerlessness, other feelings of pain and
Mhm.
hurt. I mean, this my mom's pastor says this life is a battleship. It's not a cruise ship, Liz. It's a battleship. We are in a battle, and the battle is closest to the front lines. So if you are feeling that you are right thick in it, you are on the front line. Remember to armor up. Get that armor
Mhm,
on, not just surrender your hands, but get your offensive and your defensive weapons on
mhm.
so that you can. And, you know, the interesting thing about the armor is there's nothing for the back. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
It's armor for the front,
Yeah, the breastplate and
which
everything and
means
the
don't you
shield.
turn and run. Yeah, you're not supposed to
You're
turn
not
and run.
allowed to. Yes, you're not supposed to.
No.
Mm, I love that. Yes, the whole armor of God. I love that, that life is a battleship, not a cruise ship.
No.
So good.
I
So,
wish it
lady,
were. I mean, that's why we have to take a weekend cruise now and again because we need a cruise now and again. But that's not real life.
yes. So we're taking this in, ladies. We're taking this in and we're saying the illogical order. I am that child that does not understand time span. And the
No,
way I measure time is not the way God measures time. This is the perfect way to start the two English sessions of the illogical order. Let's first get that out the way. The way we measure time is not the way God measures time. I may think I'm ready for something in my 20s, and he's saying, girl, it's when you're in your 40s that you're going to see the fulfillment. You know? Like, let's be honest.
it is. There so from a time perspective, there's chronos time, which is chronological. All right. So that's what we're used to. That's what
Mhm.
makes sense to us: days, weeks, months, years. And then there's kairos time, Kairos, kairos time. And that's where the Lord dwells.
That's
and
right.
and they're very different. Now he has both under his control. We typically only understand and live in that chronos time. Yeah, that chronos time. And so
Mhm.
that kairos time is, I think, where as we study, get closer to the Lord, do all that, um that's where we want to aspire him to take us into.
Yes, yes. Let's the girl. That is so that is so good. Amen. I love this conversation, and I can't wait till next week to give
Yeah.
it like
What are we gonna do?
what are we gonna do? Only God knows. We're gonna just leave it loosely in His hands so that He can continue to minister to our lives and help us to understand just so many things that we go through. And a word that you said was we feel powerless sometimes,
Me too.
and that causes us to be frustrated with not understanding what God is doing. So I feel powerless, and you just want to throw in the towel. But no, we can't do that.
I just want to say one last thing too that struck me as I was just like freshening up my makeup for tonight. And that funny how we do that for this. Okay, got to freshen up right before we come in here. And I thought, Liz, if I, as a believer, if I trust him with my soul, my eternal soul, who am I not to trust him with my day
With
or
my
my
agenda.
job
Yeah,
or my house
yeah.
or my relationship? Like, that's a big step to trust him with my eternal soul, let alone
Yeah.
if I'm sitting in traffic today and I feel like I should be at work already, you know?
Mhm, mhm, mhm. We're not gonna have it, and us women, we like to have control over things, and we were
Right.
like, "Ah," and I said this in the first one where we asked so many questions. We're just asking questions, "Well, why does this happen to me? And why does this gotta and when is why do I keep falling into the same circle and the same thing over and over again?" You're having trouble accepting God's illogical order and
Mm,
surrendering, like we
yeah,
said earlier, surrendering to it. That's
yeah,
why. So let's get out of that vicious circle and start giving it to the Lord. So I love the points that I got today. I'm going to every morning look at my calendar and say, okay, I'm doing this, 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 and that. And before I get the day started, just loosely, I like the word loosely,
honestly,
present it to the Lord because He's the one that's going to move all of the pieces for you.
yeah.
Thank you so much, Callie, for sharing that word with us.
Thank you, friend. It's a beautiful practice. I probably, you know what? I probably started doing it about 2015. So I had that Lego conversation and I was like, okay, now. No, I'm just teasing. But that
That's
since about almost a decade now. Not perfectly, not every single day, but almost daily.
Yeah, and how God just dropped that little story that brought that back to your remembrance because we as mothers, we have lots of stories to remember, and to remember that particular one, I know that was God. I know that was God because it's
Yeah.
perfect.
I haven't talked about it in years, and he just boop, put it right in there. So thank you, Lord.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Cynthia, Heidi. I see that you're watching, Heidi in Michigan. Girls, thank you so much. For those who are watching live now, thank you for being on. And for those who watch the replay, enjoy this and just again take notes because we'll be here next Wednesday
Yeah.
for the last session of Illogical Order. Now, for my ladies who love jewelry, you already know this is not a pre-order. You can now get this. Callie, I already sent you your earrings. Let me tell you, I love the little the yeah, I like the clover kind of thing is kind of like in. I don't know what it is,
Oh,
but
you better tell me when it's arriving at my house because if 13-year-old Maddie in any way gets that package first, you know.
Yeah, they're really adorable. They're adorable. So $15. I think I only have 5 left. I've been
Okay,
already promoting them for
great.
the during the Spanish. And what I do with that, those proceeds go towards the hotel when we have the conference here in person at the end of the year, sometime in October. We'll have the date later on. So send me a message and say, Liz, I need my earrings, and I'll get those out to you. And then sometime in the late spring, we're going to be talking about breaking the silence right here. The Lord put this in my heart last year, and now the timing is perfect because I'm already starting to get those hot flashes, girl. And I don't know. So we're going to be talking about menopause. We're going to talk about money, success, divorce, singlehood, just all those things that they're not conversations that are inside of the church, but we can have those conversations, and we absolutely need to. This Sunday, I had one of the ladies at my church grab me and say, I saw your video that you posted something about um the menopause thing that you're going through. Women need to hear this. Women need to understand what our bodies are going through. So just go on to emergeinfaith.com, and I'll let you know when that is. Someone's asking when is it, but you'll see the promotion on it because I like to promote stuff, and you'll see when that happens. Okay. So girls, thank you so much for watching and being a part of this. Callie, thank you
Thank you.
again. You are
Thank
such a
you.
blessing to my life. Don't forget to catch her podcast. It's called TikTok.
Yeah.
You can, I think I even have a little banner here somewhere. Follow her on her Instagram. It's Instagram TikTok Pod
Yeah, I
on
think it's the TikTok pod. Let me double check.
on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's one of those. It's one of those. You'll
Yeah.
find it.
If you search for it, you're gonna find it. It is, yeah, it's the TikTok pod.
The TikTok
The
Pod.
TikTok. But you know, and you can search in any place you find your podcast, and it's on YouTube too. So
Yeah, and it's all about time management. So it
yeah.
worked out. Like, I love that this all just like ties together with theological order. All right. Hello, hello. Hello, Lisbeth's watching. Lisbeth's watching, and so is Bernadette in California. Hello, Bernadette. You girls watch the replay. We're ending here. We love you guys so very much, and we'll see you next week at this exact same time, the same place. And we love you. Till next time. God bless you, and obey and surrender to his illogical order. Bye, Callie.
Bye.